Cortisol face, cortisol belly. Two phrases that basically did not exist a few years ago, and now half the internet is pinching its own cheeks in the mirror at 11 p.m. So today we are asking the honest question: is cortisol face real? Is cortisol belly real? Or did you just have a salty dinner and 4 hours of sleep? Quick reset on what cortisol actually is. It is a hormone made by two little glands that sit on top of your kidneys. It is not a toxin. It is not a curse. It wakes you up in the morning, it keeps your blood sugar steady, it calms down inflammation, and it stops your blood pressure from bottoming out. Without cortisol, you would die. That is the supervillain everyone is trying to detox. So, where did the puffy face thing come from? It came from a real medical condition called Cushing syndrome. That is when the body is exposed to way too much cortisol for a long time, usually because of a tumor, or because someone is taking steroid medication. And it does cause a rounder, fuller face. Doctors have called it moon face for decades. It also causes weight gain around the middle, while arms and legs stay thin, a fatty pad between the shoulders and purple stretch marks. Here is the important bit. Cushing's is rare. The internet took a rare medical condition, screenshotted the symptom list, and applied it to everyone who looked slightly swollen on a Tuesday. And so we get two teams. Team Blame the Cortisol says the puffiness is your stress hormone and the fix is a cortisol reset. Team, it's not. The cortisol says these are not medical terms, and you are selling supplements to sad people. Let us Steelman team blame the cortisol properly, because they are not making it all up. They have 2 points. 1. Chronic stress genuinely damages your body. That part is not in dispute by anyone. Long-term stress is linked to worse sleep, higher blood pressure, a rougher immune system, and changes in appetite. That is real. 2, and this is their strongest point, better than people give them credit for. Fat around your organs, the deep belly fat, does carry more receptors for cortisol than fat under your skin. So the idea that cortisol has something to do with where fat sits is not invented. It is borrowed from actual endocrinology. Team Blame the cortisol did not make up the mechanism. They just took it way too far. Because here is Team It's Not the Cortisol, and they come in hot. They have 2 points. 1. Cortisol face and cortisol belly are not medical terms. No doctor writes them on a chart. And the head of endocrinology at Johns Hopkins has said the idea that everyday stress raises cortisol, which then piles fat on your stomach, is not supported by evidence. It sounds right. It just does not hold up. 2. The puffy face itself. On a normal, healthy person, a puffier face in the morning is almost always fluid, not fat. Salt from last night. Alcohol, which wrecks your sleep and then makes your body cling to water the next day. Crying. Allergies. Lying flat for 8 hours. A bad night in general. Fluid moves fast. Fat does not. If your face is different by Thursday, that was never fat. And it was never a hormone. Now the most science-looking claim in this whole thing. The at-home cortisol test. You spit in a tube, you send it off, you get a number back, and the number feels like proof. Here is the problem. Cortisol is not one number. It swings enormously across the day. It is high shortly after you wake up and low late at night by design. So a single sample is a snapshot of a moving target. Consumer testing was recently reviewed by Which in the United Kingdom, and their point was blunt. These kits rarely come with proper clinical guidance, so whether your result is low, normal, or high, the advice at the end is basically go and see a doctor, which you could have done for free without the tube. And here is the part that actually explains the before and after photos. The thing that changed was not your cortisol, it was your behavior. Stress does not puff up your face by magic. Stress wrecks your sleep. Bad sleep makes you hungrier and pushes you towards salt, sugar, and alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates you and you rebound with water retention. You move less. You eat later. Do that for a month and yes, you look different. Then someone tells you to do a 30-day cortisol reset. And the reset is, and I quote, "Everyone, sleep more, drink less, walk daily, and stop doom scrolling." That works. Of course it works. They just credited the wrong hormone and charged you 40 quid for a powder. Write 5 cortisol myths, and these are the ones doing the most damage. Myth 1. Cortisol face is a real diagnosis. It is not. No doctor writes cortisol face on a chart. It is a social media label that borrowed its symptoms from a rare medical condition called Cushing's syndrome and then got applied to anyone who woke up looking a bit puffy. Myth 2. Your morning coffee is destroying your cortisol. Moderate coffee does not wreck your cortisol rhythm, and if you drink it regularly, your response to it is blunted anyway. Your latte is not running your endocrine system. Myth 3. You can target cortisol belly and shrink that one area. Spot reduction is not supported by the evidence. Your body decides where fat comes off and it does not take requests. Myth 4. One supplement will fix your cortisol in a week. Adaptogens like ashwagandha are a supplement, not a miracle. The evidence is mixed. Any effect takes weeks rather than days, and some of these can interact with medication, including thyroid medication. That is a conversation with a doctor, not a checkout page. Myth 5. If you feel stressed, your cortisol must be high. Not reliably. Measured cortisol and how stressed a person actually feels do not line up anywhere near as neatly as the internet assumes. You can feel completely wrecked with perfectly normal levels. That is the myths dealt with. Now the part that actually matters. And the honest answer is this: cortisol face and cortisol belly are fake as labels and real as feelings. The label is wrong. The distress underneath it is completely valid. Chronic stress is genuinely doing things to your body, just not the thing you were sold. It works through your sleep, your drinking, your eating, and your blood pressure, and that is slower and less dramatic and far more fixable than a hormone reset. One serious note before the practical bit, and this is the one thing in the video I would actually not skip. If you have rapid weight gain around your middle while your arms and legs stay thin, wide purple stretch marks, bruising very easily, or muscle weakness, please see a doctor. That is a real pattern. It can be Cushing's, and it is treatable. Do not troubleshoot that with a tea. This is not medical advice, and a doctor is the right person for this, not a comment section. For everyone else, here is the honest takeaway. Sleep is the biggest lever you have, and it is free. Watch alcohol because it is doing more to your face than cortisol ever was. Get some daylight in the morning, walk, eat enough protein and fiber so you are not running on fumes. And if the puffiness is genuinely bothering you, look at salt, sleep, and alcohol first, not your adrenal glands. Also, stop weighing your own face at 7 a.m. That is not data. That is self-harm with a mirror. So, are you team blame the cortisol or team it's not the cortisol? Subscribe to help you decide. Tell us in the comments what you swore was cortisol and turned out to be crisps, and go get an early night. None of this is medical advice. If something feels wrong with your body, talk to a doctor.